Hello. Thank you for joining my live. I am Kathleen, Queen Kathleen, and welcome, royal family to KHCC Mobile TV. Thank you for joining me on my live. We have a lot to cover tonight. So, we're going to talk about Ty Tribbett and Kamala Harris and Drea Michelle. Also, going to talk about Russell Wilson maybe going to the Steelers. Mike Tyson is scheduled to fight Jake Paul, which I'm excited about. So let's get into tonight's show. I'll be right back in just a moment. All right. I am back and let's get started with tonight's topics. So, and I'm going to kind of start by saying this first. So this happens to be concussion month. So this month is concussion awareness month. I want you to read more and watch more about TBIs and how they impact or affect people. I am a person who lives with a traumatic brain injury. I've been very open about that. In fact, tonight is one of those nights where I cannot tolerate light. So I had a light on in here. My eyes will not do it tonight. So instead, I have lights on in other rooms because other than that, you wouldn't be able to see me at all. So it's one of the things that I have to deal with. I think it's called photophobia. Is one of the things, and then just sensitivity to light and sound and all of that. So very important. That's another thing we need to learn about is concussions and TBIs. So make sure you do your research, do some reading, watch some videos. You can actually follow my story. I'll be sharing more on YouTube. But yeah, so that explains why I'm doing this from a dark room. And I love it. That's just me though. So let's talk about Ty Tribbett. So Ty Tribbett, I'm going to show you this clip where he went on the Breakfast Club. And while he was on the Breakfast Club, he had a few things to say. But let me turn this music off because I think I got too much going on here. Let me find my music. 1 second. I think I gotta cancel that first. I get it. Give me a second. All right, I got it. So Ty Tribbett made this comment that has everybody upset. Now, I understood what he was saying. He says the institution, the system of the church is whack. That's what he said. He didn't say church was whack. I mean, he's in church, he's a pastor. So he didn't say church was whack. He said the system of church, the institution is whack. So let's just take a look at this video and you tell me what you think. Let me find, okay, here it is. Wait a minute. Okay, here we go.
Is ran is whack. I think it's a system now. Oh God, it's a system. Everything is a system, and systems work with or without God. So I think the institution.
I'll get it right.
And is whack. I think the religious system and structure is whack. I don't subscribe to it, even though I grew up in it. I benefited from it, but I learned that God is not the church. And once I realized, whoa, God ain't church. That for me, you know what I mean? I ain't from the streets, I'm from the church. So that was a huge thing as well.
It's in the Bible, though. It says you can't even find God in a man-made temple.
Why don't we read that, though? How often do you hear that sermon? No, you hear people, pastors make the people about the church. We got the church name, we church and the bumper sticker, the church. The church should be about the people. The church should be about the people, but the church makes the people about the church. So all churches now are a movement, but they're not about the people. They're not about serving and loving the people. What do y'all look for when you go to a church? What do y'all look for? Like you said, everyone don't touch your soul, don't minister to your spirit.
It's not about what I look for, it's about what I feel.
Got it.
It's a feeling, you know what I mean? Like you just
I know what you mean.
Some people just speak to your soul. Like, you know, I think Sarah Jakes right now, man, at least for me,
she talking to you. I love
like
it.
all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
So
even when I'm just
practical,
listening to her podcast, so I just think some people have an anointing on them for the moment that we are in. And just like her father had it and still has it, you know, I think she has it for the current moment that we're in.
Word.
And then another thing, so growing up in a church where, you know, I'm so used to that back in the day. Like, for instance, I don't want to go to a big church because the pastor don't know me. The pastor don't. I'm used to going to talk to the pastor.
Okay, so yeah, you can go watch that on the Breakfast Club. It's Thai tribute, and I agree with what he said. I agree that the system of the church is whack. The institution of the church is whack. The church, to me, almost needs a rebirth in general. Now, anybody who knows me knows my history. I can show you the, you know, I'm an ordained minister and all of that. So I get it. Like, I grew up in church. I'm an ordained minister, all of that. I was on the pastoral staff, youth pastor, all kinds of stuff. Taught Sunday school, was an usher in the choir, on the praise team, you name it. I agree with Ty Tribbett. It's a hot mess. It is delusional. A lot of these churches operate from a spirit of delusion. It's really not faith-based or faith-driven. Like, their faith is delusional, you know, and it's hard for me to say that because, you know, are miracles delusional? No. Okay. So can you be healed? Yes. Can you cast out demons? Yes. Can you raise somebody up from the dead? Yes. I believe all of that. None of that is delusional. What is delusional is believing a pie is going to fall out of the sky just because you named it and claimed it, when clearly the scripture says faith without works is dead. There are a lot of misconceptions within the church and the way the church operates. It's kind of not beneficial. I guess you could just say it's just kind of not beneficial. It's not going to serve the people. It's not going to help the people. And then another thing I'll say about the church, Ty didn't say this, but I'm saying this. Black church has to realize you're not white church. And we think we're white church. We're not white. Our needs are different. And even when Jesus was doing his thing back in the day, he approached every church differently. And he did that because everywhere he went was different. It was a different crowd of people. It was a different audience. There were different needs. And, you know, we see different churches, and somebody mentioned this. You see different churches operate in different ways. You see churches like a T.D. Jakes, kind of based in old tradition, mixed with a little new stuff, right? Then you see churches where the minister has tattoos, he's wearing jeans, whatever. We see, then you see like a Thai tribute church where it's kind of fun. You know, he addresses his audience in a different way. It's not very heavy spiritually, where he requires them to dress in what I would call Kojic style clothing or Pentecostal clothing. Where your skirts got to be down to your knees and all that kind of stuff. You go to Thai Tribute Church, they wearing jeans. You know, they wearing stuff like you walking around on a college campus. There are many different churches. right? Then you have Pastor Gino, who he's a hard preacher, holiness, and da da da. Well, what he tries to define as holiness. So everybody's different. And I don't know why we don't understand that, but the overall scope of church really needs to change. Is it going to change? I doubt it, because it's been like this forever. But I guess in a nutshell, I agree. I agree with Ty Tribute just in terms of how the church operates, and it just being kind of out of connection with what the people need. Like, what do Black people need? What do the people that go to your church need? What do you need to have in place? And I'll say 3 things I know for sure the Black church needs to have in place. Some type of trauma reversal programs, focus on reversing trauma. And I'm talking about dysfunctional families, fatherless homes, all of that. We need help with that. Black people need help with that more than anybody else. Okay. They need education. Every time you look up what the church should be doing is loading those kids on buses who are not familiar with this area of life and being educated, loading them on buses and taking them to colleges for college visits. Another thing is teaching financial literacy. That is something that your church really needs to do. And Lord have mercy, let's not even get into politics and how all of that is important, from the Board of Education to your mayor, just every leg of Congress, your local government, all of that. It's so much we need, and we're not serving the people as a church because, honey, we too busy trying to be the next big pastor. Folks too busy trying to be known as the best pastor and all types of crazy stuff. I mean, I'm over it. That's just my opinion. I'm over it. So, Kamala Harris is the vice president of the United States of America. And she's also an AKA, as far as I know, if I remember correctly. She went to a historical Black college, as far as I know, as far back as I can remember. Why did Kamala Harris invite college students to the White House, okay, and play Sexy Red? These are HBCU students who were invited to the White House. Apparently, she had some type of party or whatever the case may be. And you're playing Sexy Red. How do you think that that's a good look? I mean, with all of the redefining we're trying to do within our community, VP Harris, how did you think this was a good look? Now, for me, knowing what I know, my thought process is this. Wow, what a great way to show your colleagues that their investments are secure. What do I mean by that? When you are dealing with the public arena and the political arena, part of what you do is you want to show, right? You want to demonstrate that society, that we as a society and as a community, what we have to offer, what the future looks like, okay? Especially in politics. And so Kamala Harris thought it was okay to demonstrate, to show the world HBCU students rocking out to Sexy Red. Like, I don't like her. I do not like Kamala Harris. I didn't like her for the simple fact that she was a part of railroading Black men into the system, which I don't even want to get into that because that's an hour by itself. I don't see anything she's done as VP, and I'm sure I can look some stuff up and find something. But the move she made today was foul. And I didn't like it. Not only did I not like it, a lot of people didn't like it. These are young people. They don't understand. They don't understand the connectivity between what we put out there in the media and how it impacts political decision, laws, legislation, funding, you name it. Young people don't fully understand that. And because of that, that is the reason why she should not have had a group of HBCU students, female students at that, gathered and then decide to play some Sexy Red. I'm going to share this screen with you guys real quick so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So here she is. I love my ancient for my feet. My feet. Feet in front of my feet. My feet. Feet in front of my youth. I love my feet. I love my feet.
I'm proud of you all. Our nation needs you, and I look forward to your continuing leadership. Welcome to the house party at VPR.
Y'all, I'm at the VP house. They playing Sexy Red. Y'all, I'm at the VP house. They playing Sexy Red.
Need I say more? Need I say more? The VP, who knows the system better than anybody, thought that was a good idea. When we have our own, we really have our own cultural and community problems. Serious cultural and community problems. One being young Black girls being overexposed to sexualized content and not having enough resources and structure in their lives to make good decisions. The last thing I would have wanted, my bonus granddaughter went for a college visit about 2-3 weeks ago in Atlanta at an HBCU, mind you. I think she went to 1 or 2 HBCUs. She had a college visit. My granddaughter will be a senior next year. She's working. She has a car, and she's doing great in school. You know what I don't want my granddaughter to do? I would not want my granddaughter, who is a student at an HBCU institution, to show up at the White House and have them play Sexy Red. No, not some ghetto ratchet rapper who is pregnant by a baby daddy and talking about her booty hole brown. And listen, we grown. We already know what's going on. They push this agenda for this poverty mindset on our children. And Kamala Harris, the VP of the United States, had the audacity to allow that. And no, my granddaughter better not. If she went to the White House, I hope when they start playing Sexy Red, I would hope she would stand there and plug her ears. That's how serious I am about our culture and our race and understanding this is not okay. Kamala Harris, what you did was not okay. Our girls need, and boys need, and young women and men need more help in that area of sexual responsibility, integrity, character, knowing how to position themselves to be successful in the future. And you want to play Sexy Red at the White House with HBCU students. It's embarrassing. It's a conflict. As we're trying to break generational curses, here you are in the White House proliferating the exact thing we're trying to cancel in our culture. Make it make sense. It's destructive. Why would you do that? Anyway, I'm tired. I'm tired of talking about it. Because, honey, listen, people have a tendency to do what they want to do and to not care about other people. And it's sickening. It is sickening to me that she did that. When we're out here trying to help our daughters the best we can, and other people's daughters and sons and daughters. This is why we see ignorance. This is why we see things that are not beneficial to us. This is why we see things like this. Drea Michelle. Drea Michelle is pregnant by a 22-year-old young man. I want to call him a boy. Because real talk, if it was my son, I would have went to her and told her to have an abortion. I'm just telling you the truth. Do not have a kid by my son. It's so disgusting because she literally has a son that's like 22 years old. And here you are, almost 40 years old, having a baby by this young man. It is disgusting. And there's no other way to say it. There's no nice way to say it. You know, people are like, oh, congratulations. Of course we want her to have a healthy baby. She's pregnant now. You're being insane to wish something bad on a baby. But we have to stop this type of ratchet. This is ratchet, uncalled for trauma behavior. What is the point of having a kid and you already know that it is going to be destructive for the child? We know about emotional intelligence now. We know about the trauma. We know about all the things we know now, but still you want to be somebody's baby mama. Still, you didn't think his life was important enough, his career just starting. You didn't think that was important enough for you to swallow a plan B the next day. And how hard is it to swallow a plan B? Because I know you're taking them all the time, you know, allegedly. Let me not get myself in trouble. Come on. It is disgusting to me that you sit up here and laid up and got pregnant at this big age. Now, if you were 22 or 25 and young and not, you know, when you're young, you don't make the best decisions. You're almost 40, Drea Michelle. No excuse. And just because you're almost 40 does not mean we're going to give you a pass on this. I got to call you out on this. Who am I? I'm who I am. Just like they can just act like nothing's wrong with it, I can say, yeah, it's something wrong with it. We have to look out for one another. And a part of that is not being predatory. You cannot be catching up young boys having babies by them. Keisha Cole did it. Marcus Houston married some little young girl in her 20s or something. Stop. I'm 50 years old. I don't even date guys that are less than 45, 46 years old. Why? Marry somebody that's 32. You can still have a kid. You're not that old. You can still have a whole family. But no, some of us are so selfish and predatory that we think it's okay to lay up with young people, and then she had the nerve to get pregnant. And we act like we don't know how we get pregnant. We act like pregnancy fall out of the sky. We act like pregnancy is a cold. Oh, I was just sitting beside him and caught a cold. No, that's not how you catch a baby. You have to lay down, have sex, get up the next day and decide not to swallow a plan B to have a baby. And now she's talking about, oh, you're going to be born into a safe environment, a secure environment, and a loving environment. Okay. But why? Like, why? Why do it to the kid like that? Why do a child like that? I'm done. No more to say about that. Ugh, I don't even know what to call it. I don't care what nobody say. It's disgusting. Unnecessary and disgusting. I don't know why we are still having kids by people. I don't know why. I don't know why, especially grown women. Why are you deciding to have a baby by? You know how it's gonna go. You know how it's gonna go. So why? Why are you doing it? I don't know. I want to remind you though, again, that this month is Concussion Awareness Month. As a survivor, as a TBI survivor, I still deal with a TBI. I told you tonight part of the reason why I'm filming in this dark space is because I'm sensitive to light. My eyes cannot do it tonight. I tried to put a light on, it just did not work. I wouldn't even be able to look at the screen if I had a light on in here. I'd be talking with my eyes closed. So learn what you can about people who suffer with the concussion, and also look it up, because sometimes a person will have a concussion and not have symptoms initially. When I first had my accident, I actually had my accident. I was staying at a hotel. It was ice on the ground. I had a slip and fall on the ice, and I hit my head on this side. And so after that, I was a school teacher, elementary school teacher. I taught kindergarten. I went back to work, and I noticed it was hard for me I had a severe headache. That's number one, that would not leave. Not only that, it was hard for me to look at my computer screen, and we have to put in our grades, and we have to, and at that time we were working virtually. So I had to be on a computer. And when I had to be on a computer, I couldn't look at my screen. And I was like, this is weird. Like something's wrong with my eyes. Well, then my ears started being sensitive. I tried to drive to work. I could not drive to work. Voices were talking to me. So if you know anybody who had a stroke, a TBI is very similar to having a stroke. And so because your brain has been impacted or affected, you will start hearing your brain trying to tell you what to do. So it was really weird. I'm like driving to school, and it's like, stay in your lane. That's a yellow car. That's a blue truck. And I'm like, what the crap? What is going on? So the traffic started overstimulating me. And because traffic was overstimulating me, I had to pull over on the side of the road. And I was like, I called, and I was like, something is wrong with me. Something's going on. I'm not able to drive my car. Like I get overwhelmed just driving. So make a long story short, as time continued to go on, I began to develop even more symptoms. Now I had been to the hospital. They told me I had a concussion. They told me it would go away in 10 days. And I was like, well, thank God, because I got to go back to work, right? My father had passed away. I had the accident on the day of my dad's funeral. And so when I went back to work, like I said, it continued to get worse, and it went from bad to worse. I ended up having seizures. I ended up not being able to walk. I ended up not being able to talk. I ended up not being able to do any light or any sound. I was in a dark room for almost 2 months, night and day. Okay. No sound, no light. I had to wear earplugs and the earphones that they wear at the gun shooting range. Bought me a pair of those. So I had to stuff my ear with earplugs, and wear headphones thing. I had to do all of that. And in my room, we had to put up sound blocking and cover the wall and comforters. I'm not lying to you guys. I cannot do no sound and no light. And that's just a part of my story. I couldn't walk. I couldn't talk. I became nonverbal. So I went through a lot with my traumatic brain injury because I am able to talk and are, still articulate and all that kind of stuff. Those are the words people use. Because of that, a lot of people don't even believe I have a traumatic brain injury. They're like, "Oh, you look normal." I do for the 2 hours that you see me. But other than that, you see that couch back there? That's where I spend the majority of my time. Well, I don't really stay in the bed because it causes me a lot of anxiety. So, I do live in a house, so I get to move around in the house, go down to the basement, step outside, and do all of that. I'm saying all this to say TBIs are different for everyone who has a concussion. So the way my symptoms roll may not be for anybody else, or theirs could be worse, theirs could be better. My symptoms fluctuate. So some days I feel kind of normal, other days I can barely function. That's just how it is. I've learned to roll with it. It's my new normal. I can still do a lot of the things I used to do. I'm just restricted with time. So I call myself Cinderella. I got 2 hours, 2 to 4 hours to do whatever it is I think I want to do. And then after that, I'm pretty much going to start shutting down. So, like I said, it's different for different people. I know people with TBIs who have metal plates in their head. I know people with TBIs who function in a wheelchair. They cannot walk. I know people with TBIs who use a walker. I've done that. I know people with TBIs who cannot get out of bed. I know people with TBIs who cannot talk. I know people with TBIs all across the spectrum. It's different for everybody. Everybody has experienced something different. The brain is very, very finicky. It's very delicate, but it's also very marvelous. Like it's very intricate. It's very sophisticated. Like it's so sophisticated and detailed. And listen, I've learned so much about the human brain, things I did not want to learn. Look, I could have saved all those lessons. I didn't even want to learn them. Okay, so we're moving along to the next thing. So, rumor is Russell Simmons may become a Steeler. Now, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I have always been a Steelers fan. I don't know why. I think it's because of the colors, maybe. I don't know. But low key, I have always been a Steelers fan. Now, if Russell does not go to the Pittsburgh Steelers, that's okay. But if he does, I will probably be one of the happiest women on the planet. And I am going to buy me a Steelers jersey and I will buy Steelers apparel. Now, I've never done that before. Never, ever, ever in my life have I ever bought a jersey for a team. Now, I did love the Bengals. And again, it's probably a color thing because I like bright colors. So the orange, so that might be why. But I did love the Bengals. And I like the Dallas Cowboys only because of the nostalgia, right? They've been around forever. It was America's team. I remember the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders and things like that. So that's probably where all the hype around what do you call them? The Dallas Cowboys. What do you call them? That's probably where all the hype about the Dallas Cowboys is coming from. But the Pittsburgh Steelers, don't they have a black coach? I thought. Is Tomlin their coach? Is his name Tomlin? I feel like it is. Yeah. I'm getting ready to look it up now and see because I think, don't they have a black coach? I think they do. So Russell Wilson is potentially meeting to talk with the Steelers. Now we know the Broncos let him go. Who cares? He walked away with $85 million. This is the best termination that I have ever heard about. I want to be fired like Russell. Like, fire me like y'all firing Russell. This guy has walked into $85 million. Now, here's the thing. Of course, he wants his job. He wants to work. He's young. And I'm pretty sure he wants to work. This is his life. This is what he loves to do. Okay. Now, he and his son Future do have a clothing line called three brands or something like that. But of course, football is his passion. So what do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about Russell Wilson being a Steeler? Mm, 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 mm. I'm gonna buy some fatigue. I'm gonna buy some stuff. If he make it, listen, if he becomes a Steeler, I am going to buy some stuff. I'm gonna have to. And I may even try to make it to a game because word on the street is he's really getting back into his fitness journal and journey and doing his thing. I don't know. I think he's gonna come back better. I don't know. You know, that really ain't my world, but hey, I'm all for it. I hope he makes it because I want him to keep working. Just because he already said God got me, God got him. $85 million. Now, I did hear that him and Sierra, that they were trying to sell their mansion in Seattle, and it hadn't sold yet. And now, they just bought this $30 million mansion when they moved to Colorado or wherever, Idaho, where the Denver Broncos, Colorado. So, they hadn't sold the first house. So hopefully, I don't know, maybe keep the house in Seattle and sell the one in Colorado. Sell both of them, and I don't know. But you got to have a home. Even after you run off and play for all these different teams, you don't just pack up your home and move to all these different homes. Don't you have like a steady home? Like a homestead, like a steady home? I don't know. But anyway, Russell, I hope you make it to the Steelers because I'm a Steeler fan. I know y'all hating out there, but it is what it is. Okay, Iron Mike Tyson. Now, this is another thing that I'm excited about because I am a boxing fan. I love boxing. And I know it's one of those things that can give you a concussion. So that's the reason why I pulled back from boxing a little bit. But as a sport, I really enjoy boxing. I enjoy the art of boxing, not the head stuff, but the body blows, like the physical agility that's required for you to be a boxer. You got to be flexible, you got to be strong, you got to be quick, you got to have combos. I'm a huge boxing fan. I think it's one of the most athletic things that you can do. I think it's right up there with any other sport, respectfully. And I love boxing. I just think it's a good thing. So I'm not so much excited about Mike Tyson being in the ring again. I'm a little concerned about his age. And I don't know if with his age, should he be in the ring? I don't think so. That's just me. But I don't think so. I'm a little worried about that part. But here, let's check out Mike in the ring and see, because listen, he is not to be played. Let's go over there and see what's going on with Mike. Now, listen, anybody can see that Mike still got it, right?
Contract. In the contract, big boy. Come on. In the contract, big boy. Come on, sign the contract. In the contract, big boy. Come on, sign the contract. Sign the contract.
Now, we can also
in the contract, big boy.
We can also see that Mike Tyson is old. Okay. Like me, I'm old. Mike, we see you old. I'm just keeping it a buck. Mike, you owe. I don't know if you should be out here fighting Jake Paul. Now, I don't know. It's one of those things where you stay in your own lane, mind your own business, because you're not gonna stop him from fighting this dude. I know that for a fact. We are not about to stop Mike Tyson from fighting this guy, but um, I would hate for him to lose his legacy trying to participate in a fight. Like, that's my thing. Like, you've worked so hard, you have this reputation. Do you really want to risk that for a fight? And I like Jake Paul. I do. I like him as a fighter. I do. But Tyson is our guy. Tyson is, Tyson is our guy. Tyson is our dude, right? Tyson is a black, one of our black jewels, right? He I don't know. Tyson is one of our guys. So anyway, let's take a look. Oh, look, that is somebody's grandpa. Respectfully. I didn't even know he was married. Okay. Now he does look good to be, how old is he? 57 or something? I don't know. He looks good for his age. I mean, he's strong as an ox. He's physically fit. We can see that much. But can he compete in the ring with Jake Paul? I don't know. It's going to be good, though. I'm watching it. I don't know if you're watching it. It's going to be on Netflix. July the 20th, I will be watching. I am a huge Tyson fan. And I'm a boxing fan. I wish I could get tickets. I wish I could go. I wish I could be right there. Look at Tyson. Lord Jesus. Look at Tyson. Look at him. Yeah, I wish I could be there because that's going to be a really good fight. So shout out to Mike Tyson. Make it happen. So blacks who are in tech have received a warning, and the warning is get your product out now. That is the warning. Get your product out now. Whatever you're doing in the tech space, AI is over here taking over. It's making giant steps. I mentioned to you guys that Tyler Perry said he's going to start using Sora. So Sora is an application, right? It's tech that you can use to create videos. So you no longer have to be on a official set. You can make content. Now, I don't know how you'll do it, but apparently you'll be able to make content and it will look like you're somewhere that you're not. Now, if you've ever did an Oculus, if you've ever worn an Oculus, like the VR headsets, and you can pretend like you're in Paris, you can pretend you're on a beach, you can pretend you're at a resort, and it feels so real. It feels like you're there, but you're not. Now, how are they going to, I don't know, are they going to do fake actors too? Are they going to make up actors? Are the actors going to be AI generated? I didn't even think about that. Because if so, that means a lot of people won't have a job as actors. I don't know that I would, I don't know, because it seems like I will watch. Seems like I will watch it, whether it's a real actor or an AI actor. That's kind of scary, but wow. So anyway, there was this guy on Instagram and he was like, listen, if you are in the tech space, launch your product, don't wait, get it crack-a-lacking, right? Get it started and do what you need to do to get into these AI spaces. And I have to agree, the tech space is a space that will always be present. Everything we do is tech. Everything we do is tech. Our phones, computers, whatever we're doing is coming from a tech space. So, yeah, tech always pays too. got your good money. You can sell your company. I know quite a few people who have sold companies. In fact, I was going to get into tech, but I had my accident, and I don't have the capacity to do it now. But I had signed up for this tech program because there are a few tech programs where you can learn like cybersecurity and things like that are absolutely free for African American people. Now, there's one called Cyber Up, I believe it is, in St. Louis, but that program is good in 4 different states. So if you have a child, I would get them into coding. I do know that there are programs that they have at your local library and in the community. One is called Girl Code. I was one of the facilitators for that program. And so there are programs like Girl Code that are available, that are free. They're usually community programs. You can actually host one of those programs yourself. So, let me see. But back to the program I was talking about in St. Louis, there are free programs available. The program that I was about to participate in is good in 4 different states. I don't know what else is out there, but just Google it, right? And see what else is out there. Because we need to move into tech spaces. I said what I said. No. All right. So now I'm going to share my screen again, so you can take a look at our ad. And I just want to let you know that the Diva Wings bra organizer, we will be on the boob tube. It will be on the boob tube March the 12th. March the 12th, you can catch the Real Diva Wings on the boob tube. Please go to @The Real Diva Wings on Facebook and all social media. Like and follow their page. Go to therealdivawing.com to purchase your Diva Wings bra organizer. March is Women's History Month. We will be featured as a guest on the boob tube, and that date is actually March the 12th. So don't forget, go to our page @The Real Diva Wings on Facebook and all social media. Shop with The Real Diva Wings at therealdivawings.com. All right. If you need a life policy, so listen, you're not going to live forever. None of us are. You don't need to get a GoFundMe. All you need is a life policy. So if you need a life policy, text GW for Generational Wealth to 314-472-8127. That's GW for Generational Wealth to 314-472-8127. If you would like to support this show, all you got to do is hit the Cash App at KV Product. Your donations will be appreciated. Thank you kindly. And right now, we're going to do something different. We are going to go on a Black Love scroll. So every once in a while, I am on Facebook and social media, and I see all of these couples. They're singing, they're dancing, they're having these special moments. So we're going to take the time to go on a Black Love scroll. And we're going to enjoy some Black couples, because Black love is important. If you're not married, think about getting married. Marriage is so important. And if you're going to get married, make sure you do it right. Make sure you're ready for love. Don't hold back, okay? Get fully into it and enjoy love, okay? So here's one of our nice little couples. Let me get you over here to the page so you can see some Black love. We got so much Black love. We're on our Black Love Scroll. Be purposeful and intentional about finding healthy, strong Black representation on social media, on Google, wherever you are. Always look for stories about Black love, Black marriage. Get it in your spirit. Get it in your shanana. We love the stories. Here we have a first lady singing to her husband. You go look. They are on my page, so just go to my page and you will see all of these stories.
Yeah. It gets sweeter and sweeter as the days go by. This love we have between you and I keep falling in love with you over and over again.
She can sing too. I love it. So he was in the NBA. He got cut. His wife took care of all the bills. It was a little short stint, but nevertheless, maybe it was 9 months, 8 months. That's a long time. Because past 2 months, listen, past 2 months, I could tell you as a wife, as a person who used to be married, you like, man, find a job. But he was expressing his gratitude for his wife, standing beside him through that phase. You're going to have phases in marriage. It's not always going to be good. You know, you're going to have your ups and your downs. This is a beautiful Black family just celebrating in their backyard. We're just on our Black Love Scroll. Now, I don't know if the one in the white is the wife or a kid. But nevertheless, I'm going to assume she's the wife. So always look for uplifting Black content to show us in the best light possible. Oh, that's just beautiful. Oh, I just love it. I think that's the end of our scroll. Oh, no, we got more. When your parents have been together since they were teenagers and still love each other the same. Oh, I love it. All right, so that's our Black Love Scroll. I love it. I think that's a good little piece. I love it. So that's our Black Love Scroll. Now, I do want to tell you while I have you on here, I do want to tell you about this that you can see on the screen now. If you're ever on Clubhouse, there's a young lady by the name of Miki, Mekey, Miki. She's always hosting these rooms about wealth. Very smart. I think she's an accountant. So if you are ever on Clubhouse, Wealth Financial Flowers, she's doing a 3-part series. I mean, not more than 3. She was on part 3 today. And she really helps us understand financial matters, investment, this, that, and the third. So if you're ever on Clubhouse, look for Mekey, Mekey. Look for this Clubhouse room, Wealth Financial Flowers, and tap in. Okay. Shout out to our first family, Russell, Wilson, and Sierra. I loved it when she said, "This man got my back."
That man, he's always there for me. Like, it's not ever a moment where he won't pause to like make sure I'm good, you know, or it can be creative, you know, advice, you know, whatever. He's just there for me. That man got my back. And it feels different, you know. That man, he's always there for me. Like, it's not ever a moment where he won't pause to like make sure I'm good, you know, or it can be creative, you know, advice, you know, whatever. He's just there for me.
Ooh, how many times can we hear her say, that man got my back? Ugh, none of that. Hold up. I want y'all to see this squirrel fake death. This is just funny.
Own death and then even staged a crime scene. All right, so in a clip that's gone viral, the rodent knocks over a broom. When it fails to land in a convincing position, the squirrel has a bit of a rethink, a forward roll, so it ends up under the broom. It's pretty convincing for a devastating murder scene. And hang on, final flourish. The squirrel ending up with arms splayed and the murder weapon across its chest. Squirrel has faked its own death and then even staged a crime scene. All right, so in a clip that's gone viral, the rodent knocks over a broom. When it fails to land in a convincing position, the squirrel has a bit of a rethink, a forward roll, so it ends up under the broom. It's pretty convincing for a devastating murder scene. And hang on, final flourish. The squirrel ending up with arms splayed and the murder weapon across its chest.
That was funny. So, just a couple of little funny things I saw on the internet. But thanks for joining me for my live. I will see you next time at KHCC Mobile TV. I'm your host, Queen Kathleen, always bringing you amazing Black excellent content. Well, I will show you everything that's excellent in Black, from education, technology, STEM-based, whatever's going on with us, I'll be showing you. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything though, because I feel like I did. Russell, Iron Mike, AI, Black Love. I think I covered everything. I left out the little Mike Epps clip, but go find it on the internet, right? Peace out. Good night. Love you much. Stay royal. Royal family. Queen Kathleen. Bye-bye.